flight. Are you okay?
Yeah. That's what my arm.
You ready? Come on. Tea, my darling.
Thank you.
We're back in Australia! It's been a month?
Just about a month.
Just a couple days shy of a month. We went back. We went to a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
We visited friends. We visited family. Visited my niece. She's growing up so fast. It's crazy. She's such a cute little kid.
Mm-hmm.
But we're back in Australia now. We came in on a flight yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and the flight was 11 hours. And we may seem like we have a lot of energy, but we woke up at 3 in the morning, so...
So one of us is going to crash really soon.
Alright, so we thought we'd do a Q&A, just to, something to do today,
Mm-hmm.
and as a nice little bridge back into our time in Australia.
Yeah. So we asked all of you guys on YouTube and on Instagram to ask us anything about life, Australia, travel, YouTube, and compile all the answers.
Yeah.
And you guys did not disappoint. These are some pretty great questions.
Yeah, this may be like the coolest round of questions
Mm-hmm.
that we've ever had in a Q&A, which
Yeah.
is really nice. Props to you guys. So we're going to start by answering the most common question that we got by far,
Mm-hmm.
and that is...
What are we doing with the rest of our time in Australia?
So I realized that we've never actually said this in any of the videos,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a mess up on our part. We did say it in a poll at one point, but we're going to take Blueberry and we're going to circumnavigate the whole continent of Australia.
Like, we already did the whole bottom part, so might as well just do the whole thing.
Yeah, so from Melbourne, we're turning north towards Sydney, Sydney up to Brisbane, Darwin, Broome, and just make our way across the top there, finish in Perth, and then go on
To
to
our
our next country. This is Australia. We've got at least a few more months, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, I guess, yeah, what's the next?
What is your next country/adventure? So
Tia doesn't want to tell
no,
anybody.
we're going to keep this a secret because it's still in the works. But we're going to trade 4 wheels for 2, and we have a surprise visitor hopefully coming with us.
Dad's coming back. We're going on another motorcycle trip with Dad. For those of you that watched our Vietnam series, we traveled the length of Vietnam with my dad on motorcycles, and he's coming back.
So excited.
Yeah, he started his own YouTube channel, so we're gonna put it in the description. It's pretty cool, and yeah, it'd be cool if you guys checked it out.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, this one's cool. Have you ever feared for your life in one of your videos? I'm surprised no one's ever asked this question before. You wanna go first?
If you guys watched the Pemberton vlog where I climbed the tree, it didn't look super scary, but I feared for my life in that one. But that's more to do with like my fear of heights, I think.
For me, it was probably we went caving in Vietnam, and there was this underground river that was moving quite quickly. And to get across it, you just had to grab onto a rope and pull yourself across the rope. About 30 feet downstream, the river went under rocks, and we were told by our guide that pretty much if we let go of the rope, that was it. So
That was really
it was
scary.
more exhilarating than scary, I think. It was for me, but I was definitely aware of my own mortality in that moment.
Do you prefer hot or cold weather? Well, if you've been watching these vlogs, you know that we complain a lot when it's cold, so...
We're both from Arizona in the US, so I think that we both definitely prefer hot weather. Also, it's a lot easier to travel in hotter climates because you just don't have to carry as much with you. We found out in Japan that
gosh.
with our setup and the way that we travel, it's just really difficult to stay warm. You just have to carry a lot more stuff if you want to stay warm, and that's difficult for us.
A lot of people actually ask this one too, and it's how do you decide which place to visit next?
I can't tell if have we answered this one before?
I feel like we've answered this one. I think for us it's a mix of what's nearby, what's there to do, have we been there before, and is the flight there cheap?
A lot of it comes down to cost, which I realize sounds stupid filming this video in Australia, which has been very expensive. But we're going to do a budget update in this video. Yeah, pretty much those things. I think we've been slowly learning the longer that we travel, the more we're trying to seek out experiences that we personally find interesting, as opposed to just seeing a place for the first time. Because like anything else in life, it can lose its shininess, I guess, after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good for the next question is, what is your most used airline to travel to Australia?
Jetstar.
Jetstar.
We can't afford Qantas.
No.
Or Singapore Airlines.
But I had no idea that like on Jetstar you have to pay for meals, for drinks, for the movies that you watch. Like every movie or game or TV show, you have to pay for every individual one. So.
But on our way home, we were able to get flights from Melbourne direct to Hawaii for less than $300 per person. So thank you, Jetstar.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. We paid for those tickets, but thank you, Jetstar.
Do you ever wake up in the morning and forget where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Actually, this happened to me the other day where I woke up and I was like, oh my god, we had to catch our flight to Hawaii and we were already here. Wait, was that this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely happened. It's just something that comes along with it. Tia experiences intense fear when she doesn't know where she is. Okay, what is your opinion of rolly bags? This question could not have come at a better time. We got rolly bags, everybody.
Look at this! We felt so fancy rolling through the airport with these.
They are pretty cool looking.
Yeah, okay. Should we just do a quick rundown?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys have known, I have had a lot of back issues the last 2 years, so we finally pulled the trigger and we changed over to rolly bags. And funny enough, this is actually the exact same size as our backpacks. This is 35 liters, right?
36 liters.
36 liters, so same size. Okay, you ready for my favorite part? So what made us decide to get these specific ones is that they are aluminum shell, so nothing inside is going to be damaged, which was a huge concern for us with our softer bags. And okay, well maybe mine will get damaged. Okay, so little room tour. Both of our bags are the exact same size and each have 2 compartments with these nifty little divider things. And then I, as always, have my packing cubes. For my shirts, pants, I have my scarf on this side. And what's neat is that the luggage itself came with like, 5 different packing cubes. I used some of them because I like the size of the ones I had here, but they came with these cute little packing cubes with these little interchangeable little logo things on it. That's so cute. What's nice about some of these packing cubes is that they're padded, and we have a lot of tech and gear, and now they're all nice and safe. Is there anything that I'm forgetting? Oh, there's a lot of stuff on the outside, I think, that Cheveyo can point out. May I ask?
Okay. These bags are very, very nice. The wheels are like exceptionally smooth and quiet, which we were kind of worried about because this is the #1 thing that we've been concerned about breaking on a roller bag. We got the aluminum shell because they actually have a weather seal here, so I wouldn't go as far to say that they're weatherproof, but they're weather resistant. And as we keep traveling and getting more and more gear for filming these videos, we've just become more and more worried about basically what has come to be our entire lives. We just feel a little bit more secure having it in the aluminum.
Especially since it locks.
Yeah, they have locks here which are TSA approved. For those outside of the US, that's like our airport security thing. Obviously we've only had these bags for a couple weeks now, but I'm pretty confident they're going to hold up, and so is the company that sent these to us because they have a lifetime warranty, which we've been super stoked about. A lot of luggage makers don't have that, so that's been really nice. Alright, so full disclosure, this company, they're called Level 8. They did send us these bags, but they They did not pay for us to say anything positive. We try to be very, very honest on this channel. We don't promote a lot of things at all, and if you've been watching us for a long time, you know that's true. But there's a link down below for these bags where you can get 10% off with a code that we've put down there. And yeah, just consider it because we do get a little piece of that.
Yeah, I think this is going to be good for long-term back issues.
We've been discussing getting rolly bags all the way since Spain, like 8 months ago. And it was just time to do it. Tia's back just doesn't have a lot left in it.
Oh my god!
Alright, moving on with the questions here.
Are you guys still hiking to first base camp?
It's really starting to seem like we planted questions in here,
No,
but I promise you these are actual questions we received.
So talking about my back, it has been better the last couple of weeks. Going home and just kind of settling for a little bit was nice. We're still hoping to go. We're just taking it day by day.
Yeah, we don't want to walk into something that we can't handle, so we're waiting for Tia's back to get a little bit better.
Yep.
It's still something that we very much plan to do and want to do, but not for the next few months.
Yeah.
Ooh, I really like this question. How do you guys avoid food poisoning?
Oh my gosh.
We do not.
We don't.
We get food poisoning. We talked about this the other day. We get food poisoning, I think, about once a quarter. It's like our quarterly food poisoning time. And it doesn't matter what part of the world we're in, what country we're in. That just seems to be about the frequency that we get it.
Yeah.
You can definitely do things to help avoid it. You know, don't drink the water in some countries. You won't get sick. We've been kind of weary of seafood at times, or undercooked meats. But honestly, you can't avoid it, and you're going to miss out on a lot of good food if you're traveling and you're just worried about food poisoning sometimes. So I wish we had better advice for that. It doesn't matter.
And Tums.
Imodium and Tums. And I just want to say, like, it doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, no matter what country you live in. If you ate out 2 or 3 times a day, you would probably get food poisoning several times a year as well. That's just the name of the game. So we're not going after any country when we say this, but it's everywhere. These next few questions are more centered around Australia. How reliable has the Mazda been on your trip?
Blueberry is awesome.
Blueberry's been an absolute
Amazing.
champ. If anything goes wrong, of course we're going to show it because that makes for a more entertaining video. I want something to go wrong so that I can fix her, and nothing has gone wrong at all, which I'm also low-key that I'm thankful for that.
I was going to say, except the time we got stuck, but that wasn't Blueberry's fault.
That was not Blueberry's fault. That was operator error. Yeah, Blueberry's been an absolute champ.
Would you ever live in Australia? And if so, where?
Yeah, I totally would.
100%.
Probably Perth,
I was
or
gonna say
Fremantle more specifically for me. I just
Yeah.
love that place. The vibe is perfect.
What is something that you don't like about Australia compared to the US and vice versa?
This is going to be a Tia rant. Okay.
Can I do this?
Yes.
Okay, come on. Okay, for everyone at home, you heard me rant about this, but let me just say, in America, our beds are pretty standard in terms of like the bedding. We have a comforter, a sheet, and then a fitted sheet. And in Australia, this is actually kind of special because we had an actual comforter. But you guys don't have fitted sheets. It's just a sheet on top of the mattress, and then when we like go to bed, this gets untucked, and then sometimes we're laying on bare mattress when we wake up, which is really gross. But like, I just don't understand, like, where did fitted sheets go? And then sometimes the comforter is just 2 sheets smushed with the comforter.
Okay,
in the middle.
they got it. They got it. It's good.
I don't get it.
So you guys, that was, I guess, our least favorite thing about Australia.
Everything else is great.
Yeah, everything else is great about Australia. I think my favorite thing is the amount of nature in Australia. The population in this country is very, very tiny in proportion to the size, so there's just an enormous amount of totally unspoiled nature, which is awesome. Okay, moving on here. Oh, I really like this question actually. Have you noticed any type of videos do better than other types? If so, have you changed your content to reflect that? Yes to the first one, and we've made an active effort to answer no to the second one, I would say.
Can you give an example?
Okay, so our videos tend to perform far better in capital cities, no matter what country we're in, and we're not huge city people. So while we could just fly from country to country going to capital cities and nowhere else, that would probably be at least twice as successful on YouTube. That's just not really what brings us joy. We like to get off the beaten path as much as possible. Of course, we love seeing capital cities. Like, we're in Melbourne right now, and it's awesome. But I don't know, that's not really why we set off to go on this trip. But hey, if you're thinking about making videos, yeah, capital cities. We're only going to answer one more, like, YouTube-related question, I think. But tips on how to grow your YouTube channel?
That's a tough one. Everyone has like such a wildly different way of handling YouTube.
Do we even have good tips?
No. The things that have helped us the most with growth is be consistent in terms of like what you're filming about and how often you're posting, and be as, you know, obviously true to who you are.
Yeah, true to who you are, I think, is a big one. If you're not a natural tour guide, don't try to be a tour guide. We've never tried to be tour guides because I know we're horrible at that. It's going to be different for everyone, guys, and I wish I could give
a
catch-all kind of advice, but I would just say be consistent and true to what maybe your natural talents are. Yeah.
I don't know if that's helpful.
We're going to have to cut that probably.
Yeah, that was not helpful at all.
Okay, instead we're going to answer, what are your favorite travel vloggers to watch?
Oh, that's a good tip. Watch people who you like and then, you know, learn from other people.
But of course we watch our friends, Lisa and Josh, Patty Doyle. But we also enjoy bigger YouTubers like Yes Theory.
Oh my gosh,
yeah. We really like Johnny Harris, although that has nothing to do with travel or anything, but we think his videos are pretty cool. Do you have any favorite?
I think obviously the big ones like Karen, Nate, Eamon, and Beck, and King, those guys are great.
King is really fun.
Oh, they're so much fun.
Yeah.
Moving off YouTube to life questions. What is your most/least favorite thing about each other? You can go first, my darling.
You go first.
No, go ahead.
I need to test the waters here.
Let's see how deep we're gonna go in. Okay, my favorite thing about Cheveyo, which I think I've touched on a lot, is how supportive he is. He's like my biggest cheerleader. Yeah, he's very level-headed, and you know, I'm very like chaotic, and he's very level-headed, so it really balances us out. My least favorite thing, it's funny because we actually talked to your sister about this the other day, is that Cheveyo is the realist to my optimist personality. So sometimes I think he's just a big downer when he's just being realistic, and I'm like trying to be positive, and he's just like trying to, I don't know, get the facts in.
This answer is gonna be so like contrived.
Why?
Because mine is just the reverse.
Well, then think of something else.
Well, no, because that's like that was what I
get your
no. Yeah, my answer is just the reverse of Tia's. It's that she always thinks everything's going to be okay, but things are only going to be okay if we make them okay. That's my favorite thing about you is, you just the fact that you're up for all this stuff. A million other people would have totally hated the idea of the Vietnam motorbike trip when they'd never ridden a bike before, and you were up for it. That was cool.
How do you balance personal and free time with filming and editing?
Oh man.
We don't.
The longer that we do this, the longer that we realize there's the lines between YouTube and our personal lives are just super, super blurry, I think. It's something that we're still grappling with, and we love our lives, so I don't want to complain about it because I'm not complaining about it, but I don't know that we've figured out a perfect balance.
No.
Still working on it.
Yep. We'll answer that one in the next Q&A.
Road trip podcast recommendations.
We listen to one podcast and one podcast only.
Stuff you should know. Josh and Chuck. Those guys are great.
Yeah.
Basically, their podcast just spends an hour talking about some random subject and gives you a overview over that subject. It's great. That being said, we should probably find other podcasts.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any podcasts? Anyone out there?
Will you vlog on your wedding day?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think that we can multitask that well.
Yeah, it's already stressful enough.
Maybe the proposal though.
Now you got me all like... Did you have to pack up your stuff at home when you moved out for the long haul to travel?
Oh yeah, no, we just sold everything.
Yeah.
Everything that we own is in these 2 suitcases. Is that everything?
Yeah, last thing is budget.
All right, to sort of wrap this up, a lot of people have asked about our budget while we've been in Australia.
It's very high.
It's obviously different from day to day, but it's averaging out to about $4,000 a month is what we've spent since we've been here. So that's about $130 a day. $133 I think a day. If you've been following us for a while, you know that we try and aim for an overall big picture over the course of an entire year, averaged out daily budget of about $100 a day. And I don't think we're going to hit that in this year of travel because we've been to Japan,
Taiwan,
Australia, Taiwan,
Singapore, back home in
Europe. So the average this year is probably going to be closer to what it's been in Australia, which is about $130 a day or so.
Moving on to income, let's see, over the last 90 days, so I guess since we've been
in Australia, the same time period, yeah.
We have made $8,346 on YouTube.
Yeah, so that's covered roughly 2/3 of our travel expenses. And we've been lucky enough where Buy Me a Coffee and the Postcard Club have almost filled that gap in. So we're very, very close to breaking even now. This is obviously not a thing where we're expecting to get rich or anything at any point, but the fact that we are this close to breaking even just traveling has been absolutely amazing, especially in an expensive country like Australia. I never thought that would happen.
No. So thank you guys for everything that you do.
Seriously. I think we blabbered on long enough.
That was a lot.
I feel like this was really rambly.
It feels weird being back. This is the longest we have gone without filming these last 3 weeks.
Yeah, so if we were kind of awkward in this one, or it was a little bit just eccentric, sorry for that.
Eccentric, that's such a good word. That's perfectly describes how I've been feeling.
Thanks you guys for coming with us.
Tomorrow we'll have slept.
Tomorrow we're going to get back to our regular scheduled programming and get back to exploring Australia. So we'll see you guys. Thanks for coming along. See you tomorrow.
Subscribe. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's been so long. Ugh, what do I do with my face?
You just... Okay, what are we gonna say? Okay, so this is a Q&A.
What is this?
Gonna have to cut so many of these.
I know.